Hi, Nathan Davis here for NHD Photo, and today I want to talk about telephoto and wide-angle adapters for your lenses. This is one of them right here. There's many different types, and they're usually around $30 to $50. They're very inexpensive, and I have many problems with these devices, mainly because first off, they're usually not very high quality glass in them. So the image quality you get is degraded. It's not going to give you the same quality as if you're using the lens by itself. Secondly, it can cause flexing of the barrel of the lens, which means it can cause it to droop because of the added weight. And the problem with that is that it can cause chromatic aberration, focusing issues, all kinds of bad things for the image quality. Chromatic aberration is color fringing, and that happens when basically the light coming in is not being focused correctly, and the color is not, because you know light is made up of multiple different colors, and the color coming in is not focusing to a singular point or close to it, so it can cause color fringing. And with these, all lenses, you know, that are standard can have a minor amount of color fringing. Even some of the higher end ones may have a slight amount of chromatic aberration, but it's usually not noticeable. But when you throw something like this on there, it causes the barrel to flex, which knocks the elements and groupings out of alignment, and it's more prominent at that point. So, yeah, I wouldn't get that for that reason. So it can damage your lens. I mean, that's another thing. I mean, you use this enough with the added weight, it can cause damage to the elements where they're permanently knocked out of alignment. So when you take this off, you still have issues, and you would have to send it in to be calibrated, which is a time-consuming process because they do have to take the lens apart and then tighten the screws, or adjust the screws, the adjustment screws, around the elements to correct the focusing issue, or chromatic aberration issue, as the case may be. So again, yeah, don't buy these. I would recommend saving up your money and getting a good quality lens. And I understand the draw for these is that people want to get a wider angle effect, or, you know, like a fisheye effect, or they want to have a more extensive zoom, but they don't want to spend the money because they don't have it. I understand that. I understand not having the financial resources to get the equipment that you would love to have, but cutting corners in certain areas does not equal good quality images. Now, there are certain ways that you can. I mean, I have a video on how to use vintage lenses, vintage Nikkor lenses on your Canon camera. I have one for how to make your own strobes out of vintage flashes. I mean, all kinds of different things that you can do and cut corners, and it would not have any effect on your image quality. But when you start messing with the glass, which is the primary element for capturing your image, you're going to have negative results. Unless you're looking for some kind of weird effect, fine, but I would go with something like, you know, a lens baby or something like that for that. I would not go with something like this because of the fact that it's, you know, possibly going to damage your lens. Now, I do like this one, and the main reason is not because of the whole thing. The only part I like on this is this. And the main reason is that this is a close-up adapter. They're lightweight. They have them, you know, with filters, and it can give you a macro, you know, turn your regular lens into a macro lens. So, and if there is minor chromatic aberration caused by it because it's only one lens element, it can be corrected in Photoshop. But using the whole thing adds a lot of weight to the lens, which can cause damage to the lens, and the quality of the glass is just not there. So instead of spending $30 to $50 thinking you're going to get some miraculous product that's going to make your lens way better than what it is, I would save up and actually buy the lens that you want, that would give you proper effect and quality. So don't cut corners with your glass. It's not a good idea. You know, if you're going to use vintage lenses, that's fine. I mean, you know, like I use Nikkor lenses on my Canon camera. People look at it like it's weird, but I get really sharp images. That's because the lenses themselves are really high quality. But you have to use an adapter. It's manual focus and manual aperture. But that's fine. I don't mind. I still get excellent images. With these, not so much. I've bought a few out of curiosity just to see, you know, what people were getting, because I've heard people buying these and, you know, just wanted to see for myself what they did. And I was not impressed at all. I was kind of just thought, wow, this really degrades the image of the quality of the image that I'm getting from this lens. I mean, take a picture without this on, and the quality of the image is way better. That tells you it's not something that's going to give you some kind of miraculous effect with a lens that is not built for that. If you don't have a fisheye lens, buy a fisheye lens. Yes, they're going to be expensive because of the fact that it's a lot of glass in a fisheye lens, and the construction is more intensive than a lot of normal lenses. So if you want to get more zoom, you know, buy a 400 millimeter or 500 or whatever. You're going to spend a lot of money, but you know, if that's what you want, buy the glass for it. If you buy cheap, you're going to get cheap. You know, you're going to get what you paid for. So don't cut corners on your glass. Just remember that. Don't think that if you cut corners on that you're going to get great image quality. It's not going to work. And there is a chance that you can damage the lens. This is a lot of weight in this small, compact lens element. And when you get the telephoto ones, they're double the length. They're 4 inches. That's about 2. And they weigh quite a bit more. And when you put it on a lens and it's telephoto and you zoom it all the way out, you know, that puts a lot of droop on that lens, and you're putting all kinds of pressure on the gears, the motor, putting a lot more pressure on the motor and strain, and you're putting a pressure on the elements and the groupings, which can cause damage. So, yeah, it's just not a good idea. I understand, you know, not wanting to spend a lot of money if you don't have it. Just save up, because in the long run, you're going to spend a lot more for this than you would for a proper lens. Thanks for watching.